Recently, I was playing some Super Mario Odyssey, and I realized something. Almost the entire game is CGI. This is a problem. If you don't know what CGI is, it stands for Computer Generated Imagery, and it's the bane of my existence. Things just need to be practical. Come on. The video game industry is all about innovating, which makes me very concerned when I see that a lot of video games these days are almost completely CGI. The argument I see all the time on the internet is that movies use CGI all the time. But listen, in The Mummy Returns, we couldn't just make The Rock a scorpion. That had to be CGI. He's not a scorpion in real life, and we had to use CGI for that situation. Normally we could use practical effects, but he's simply not a scorpion. So stop using that movie as an example of when CGI doesn't work. That is the one time that CGI was very, very well utilized. There's been extensive research on many YouTube channels that show that practical effects actually age better than CGI. So these video games, they're not gonna age very well. Anyway, back to Mario Odyssey. I would be able to play this much more if it wasn't bombarded by all the CGI. As I was playing, the only true aspect that was practical were the Joy-Cons in my hand. Come on, Nintendo. Now you might be wondering, are there any games that aren't CGI? Yeah, of course. Are you like 8? Let's look at a few examples. That's right, Mortal Kombat, everyone's favorite fighting game. It used to be completely practical. Now you have all the stupid CGI versions of the game, but guess what? Originally the game was practical effects. A lot of people will look at Mortal Kombat and say something like, but those graphics are trash. Excuse me? This game was made with actual people. According to the Mortal Kombat Wikipedia page, every character in the game was a photograph of the actual character. These are real people fighting. You can't get more practical than that. The Wikipedia article also touches upon Mortal Kombat 4, which is the first Mortal Kombat that went away from the practical ways and used CGI. This isn't in the Wikipedia article, but I also assume that the developers for Mortal Kombat 4 thought the CGI sucked like I do. I feel like it would be pretty safe to assume that they probably referred to it as crap generated imagery. 2 additional comments. First of all, the Mortal Kombat movies do not suck. They are actually awesome. Number 2, there's this really funny video by this channel called Smosh that did a parody of lip syncing to the Mortal Kombat theme song. If you have not seen it, please watch it, it is hilarious. Now that I have Mortal Kombat out of the way, I would like to look at a game that uses practical effects in a more casual way, Night Trap. According to the Night Trap Wikipedia page, Night Trap is an interactive movie video game developed by Digital Pictures and originally released by Sega for the Sega CD in 1992. The game is presented primarily through the use of full motion video. You cannot get more practical than that. I look at a game like Animal Crossing and I wonder, why is this game not filmed in full motion? It would make perfect sense. But for some reason, Nintendo has to be stupid and use these dumb CGI characters instead of using real characters. I don't get it. And don't even get me started on Sims. If the video game industry would have focused more on practical games like Night Trap, we would have avoided so many problems. No more would we have these terrible CG-heavy games like The Last of Us. Games would really feel real, with a real story and real people. It's not rocket science. Trust me, I know games. I have had many discussions with my fellow peers about where we went wrong with practical effects in video games. The final verdict that we've come down to is that we simply cannot make video games on computers anymore. It makes CGI far too easy. So where do we go from here? What is our next step as video games evolve again? I, as a gamer, want a practical game that I can truly play throughout my lifetime. Many will agree that I am fighting the good fight, but I shall never win. But on the contrary, I have already won. Last year, there was a game release that was completely practical. This game was Fortnite. Fortnite is a game that doesn't utilize CGI whatsoever. The characters in world of Fortnite are far too lifelike to ever be CGI. This has allowed myself and my peers to come to the conclusion that Fortnite is not a CGI game, but is completely practical. To fully drive home my point, I want to look at Fortnite dances and show how truly lifelike they are. Let's look at the Fortnite dance Shoot in slow motion. I don't think I need to say any more. So the next time you're doing one of your Fortnite dances, realize that your dance comes from a generational defining practical video game. Be proud of that.